All right. So that's my only nitty-gritty rule. Let's get the nuts and bolts out. You guys are going to hear from all kinds of stuff today, and you're going to forget half the stuff you heard before you even hand out the stuff, which is all right. Mr. Sturb, I teach math. If you ever need to use the restroom, you know your system best. Just go. Okay. Not in class. Leave class to go use the restroom. Need to clarify that because I do have some freshman classes who might get confused. We don't have any freshmen in here, right? We can make fun of the little people. Another thing, I record all my lectures. In fact, we're recording right now. I just started, so don't worry if you were sitting here in class chatting with your buddy, which you did last summer, and I was out of earshot. It wasn't recording you, don't worry. But I record for a couple of reasons. One, keeps me honest, keeps me on track. But it's also for you if you ever need to miss school for any reason. Watch it. Watch the video. It'll be linked on Schoology. I'll also have the notes from this lecture posted on Schoology. And did I hand out enough of these? Good. At least I can count to 6. Works for me. All right. So anything on here that's horrible? My office is right next door. I'm off 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 7th periods. I'm not off before school. Tuesday, Thursday, I have PLC meetings. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have a med class. Second semester is different. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll be available before school. But first semester, I have a medical class. This is all good mumbo jumbo. It all means everything. My biggest rules are I will try to show you the most respect I can. I hope you show me the respect. I'm going to make mistakes. Mathematically, I'm sure. Not because I don't know how to do it. It's just I'm a human and I make mistakes. So it's okay to point and laugh, okay, at me. I won't point and laugh at you if you make mistakes. My sense of humor is bad. It's really bad. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance for it. I laugh when people fall. It's there. Someone trips going up the stairs. I'm sorry. I'm pointing and laughing. If I trip and fall, you have all the permission in the world to laugh at me, okay, and point and video it and all that as long as we're in class. All right. Anything else on that? So I got this new little toy. We're going to see how good this goes. I'm able to write anywhere in the room, and it's projected up there. Let's see. Anything that we need to hit upon before I really start going? You're going to see you have your names all printed on your whiteboards, first and last name, so I can come around and make sure I put you in the seat that you like. The seat you still like it, yes? It's pretty simple, stand and deliver type of lecture. I'm not a big project-based learning person. I'm not a discovery learning person. I used to argue with people that like discovery learning. If you don't know what that is, my best rendition of discovery learning is, you remember when you were a little kid and you made a bike ramp? And your first buddy goes over the ramp and they totally bail? This didn't happen? If it didn't happen, it might have been you who bailed. But you start making rules up. Okay, next time, don't go full speed off the ramp. Some of the rules that we learned is I grew up in Arizona, and we all had swimming pools. And a lot of times, parents weren't home when we were swimming. We were kids. So we would do things like jump off the roof into the pool. Okay, that's kind of fun. And then let's ride the skateboard off the roof into the pool. And then let's ride the bicycle off the roof into the pool. That was fun. You know what we discovered? Actually, Steve Zabinski discovered it for us. Keep your feet on the pedals of the bike as you go into the pool. You don't know that? Ask your neighbor. But I'm just saying, that's what Steve discovered. And so we had to make rules up. But I'm not a big fan of discovery of math. Going, hey, look, we have X. Let's discover what we can do. No, I'm not that guy. You'll get homework almost every night. I'm not trying to saturate your life. I'm sorry. Part of the class is I am trying to prepare you for further on in mathematics. Homework is pretty simple. It's worth 4 points. 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, or no points. Okay? I'm not picking up your homework to grade it. I'm not picking up your homework to make sure everything's right. On your homework, let's see if you can follow along my drawing. You have your name on it. And basically it'll come out of our workbook, and I'll show you what the workbook looks like, which you need to go over to Bare Necessities and purchase it. It's $5. I do have the first couple days photocopied for you. It's also on Schoology, so if you're like, you know what, I'm going to be that kid that prints off every one of mine, okay. But when I check off homework, I'm looking for, did you try? It's practice, right? I'm going to put a top mark on it. It looks like you tried everything. Now, trying isn't going, oh, look, I discovered all the answers are printed at the back of that first sheet. So I found all the answers, and you just wrote 6, 12, 19. So how'd you do this? I did it in my head. No, you didn't. Yeah, I could do it all in my head. I know. But if you had some work that's associated with it, it looks like you tried it, you get a top mark. That top mark is what you want because that's your 4 points. You get a middle mark. That means you tried half to 3/4 is attempted. You know, sometimes life happens, but that's your 3-pointer. You try less than half to none, and you're in class, you get a 2. Now, some of you before you like attack me and say, that's not fair that someone gets half the points when they didn't do any of the work. I understand. In order for these points to be awarded, it needs to be complete. So if we're going over problems and you're filling in the problems that we're doing up on the board and then you're going to take claim for them as your own, that's fine. It's called plagiarism in most classes, but in math, I'm going to allow you to discover where your mistakes might be taking place. But those are the points you're going to get. Now, of course, I reserve the right to have half values in there, okay? And when do I get a 1? Well, 7 weeks after the fact. Well, I had this one assignment. I finally got it done. Here's your 1. You get a 0. You didn't turn anything in. Included on the day that you were absent. Now, if you're absent, please know that you have to do the assignment and you resubmit it to me. Just let me know that it's an absent work. Okay? Make sure it's all done before you submit it. But that's the homework. That's easy. There's not much to it. So every day, it'll just be while you're kind of getting together, I'm just marking top, middle, or bottom mark. And you got the one kid who's got, their best friend's paper on their desk and they're trying to copy as fast as they can. Really? You're that kid? Don't be that way. So that's about all I have for that. That's the nuts and bolts so far. I told you about restrooms. If you have to use the restroom, please do. Excuse yourself. I don't want 5 people at a time going, but if there's someone out of the restroom, just kind of take a look around. If there's someone out, wait till they're back. Unless it's that thing you would need to get taken care of and go to the restroom. Calculators, TI 83s or 84s. I prefer the 84s. You need them. If you just bought one, bring me in the packaging so I can steal the USB code on there so we can, as a school, get more calculators for us because you guys purchased them. I don't know, the one purchase point doesn't mean anything for you, but as a school, we can start collecting. Let's see, what else? Don't fall behind. And then, let's see, tests and quizzes are their own category. Quizzes are worth less than a test, but they go in the same category. That's worth 65% of your semester grade. I'm on the back side of this, anyone's following along. Homework is worth 15%, and we reserve any classwork as well, 15%. And the final exam, obviously, is taken at the end of the semester, will be worth 20% of the semester grade. Okay? Anything else? We're going to abide by all the Cherry Creek High School ideas. And then, let's see, something about me that makes me different than most other teachers. Other than I laugh when people fall. This is my 23rd year as a teacher. I first started teaching in Las Vegas, Nevada. I taught at a school called Las Vegas Academy. It was a performing arts magnet school. So Clark County, Nevada is Las Vegas and Henderson and Boulder City. So it's large. So when I was there in the 90s, there was 55 high schools in that school district. Crazy amount. So I was at a performing arts magnet school, meaning a magnet school is basically this. You have a talent, you have to try out for it, and you go there. My first year teaching, I had a kid named Ken Walcott and his best friend Schaefer Smith. Ken Walcott got second place on the first year of American Idol. Schaefer Smith, you might know him by a different name. It's Neo. The singer. Neo the singer. Okay? I had another kid who, when I had him in pre-calculus as a sophomore, he was about this tall. He had big woodsy owl glasses. I can make fun of people with glasses because I wear them too. He was tap dancing, and he was impersonating Jimmy Stewart. When I first met him, I was on the stage. He was on the stage at Las Vegas Academy. And I was introduced, and he was, "Hey, Matt, come here. This is your pre-calc teacher." Comes up, and he's like, "Hi, how you doing?" He's impersonating Jimmy Stewart. If you don't know who that is, look it up. Jimmy Stewart was a fun guy for him to impersonate. Well, little Matt is no longer this tall. He's now about this tall, and he is one of the actors on the show called Criminal Minds. His name is Matthew Gray Gubler. I also had I had the girls from a rhythm and blues singing band called 702. One of them came running into my class, screaming. She was one of the loudest people I've ever met in my life. She's screaming, and I'm like, calm down. She goes, "No, Mr. Sturm, we just signed a multi-million-dollar record deal." Wow. Let's scream more. Yay. So that's just a couple of people that, from my past, I've taught. So it's because they had me, they're famous. Obviously, right? I mean, that's, you all have seen statistics. So.
Common denominator.
Yeah. So I was a teacher. So I had another kid named Ben McKee. Ben has his own show on the Discovery Channel that deals with debunking or finding evidence on UFOs. So I think that's kind of cool. I wouldn't expect you probably know who that kid is. But he can play the saxophone like no other. All right. Enough about me. We're having fun. Let's close that. Oh, and then best quote in the world down at the bottom. Bottom of the back page. I love that quote. Some people are like, "Oh, that's so sad." Deal with it. Did they get hit by a car? No. At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went outside to play for the last time. Nobody knew it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's not bad. Means, hey, you know what? You start thinking about, wait a minute. I remember when we used to all get together and play the big games of hide and seek. Or you made up rules for tackle football that, you can't tackle on the driveway. Because, someone's head bouncing off the pavement. It's only fun so many times. Things that I blame my generation on. Y'all got a curfew thanks to my generation. I apologize. Did everyone get one, or am I not passing enough out? One more. Oh, shoot. Looks like enough. Everything good? Good? All right, so these are your notes. I'll give you a skeleton version of the notes every day. Is it okay if I dim the lights a little bit? All right, no napping. Because you start napping, we will shave your eyebrows off. I don't know. All right. While you're sitting there for a moment, especially by me. All right, let's do a little lecture, see how we do. So I have the first couple days. I have today and tomorrow as far as the workbooks go. And our workbook is the yellow one. So it says accelerated 504 on it. Let's see if I can make that work. Yeah, baby. All right, enough about that. So evaluate abstract expressions. Determine if the answer is always positive, always negative, or something positive and sometimes negative. Solve the equations for the indicated variables. All right, moving on. Let P represent a positive number and N represent a negative number. Oh, we're so cutesy. P is positive, N is negative. I like that. Determine the given expressions will always be positive, always negative, or sometimes positive and sometimes negative. Be prepared to support your answer. All right. What do y'all think about that one right there I just circled? Negative n squared p squared. It seems positive, but let's ask this question real quick. The big place that kids get goofed up is right there. Because of that negative sign. Why is that? What truly happens to that negative sign if this was grouped? Yeah.
So in order for it to be negative, like for like the square to make it negative or positive, I mean, it would have to be in parentheses because n is squared, not negative n.
Good. That's a perfect answer. Okay? So if I take, in this case, that n is the only thing that is being squared. The negative n is not. So some of you had set out that the answer is positive. And you saw it because, if I plug a negative number in, if I square a negative number, it becomes positive. And if I square another negative and it becomes positive, and I multiply two positive numbers together, I get this. But take a look. That negative out front is going to goof. So this one is always negative. Always negative. I guess our interpretation is we will not allow our variables at this point right now in this very second to be equal to 0 because 0 is not positive nor negative. But in this case, that will result. If I take any numbers other than 0 and plug it in, my result will always be negative. What about right here? If I plug a number in for n, and I plug another number in for p, other than 0, what do you think is going to happen? Going to be positive? Sure. If I plug two positive numbers in, it's going to be positive. What if I plug two negative numbers in? What's going to happen to it? It's going to be negative. What happens if I plug one positive and one negative in? It could be 0, depending on whether they're opposite values. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it could be either. So number 2 has all kinds of designees that it could be. It could be positive sometimes. It could be negative sometimes. It could be, positive even if I plug in opposite signs. It could be negative if I plug in opposite signs. It just really depends on how big n, the value of n is, and the value of p is. And then this last one. What do you think? Could it be positive?
No.
If I plug 5 in for n, I plug 2 in for p, could it be positive?
Yeah.
Sure could. Could it be negative?
Yes.
Oh, and if n is negative, that could happen. So, but does everyone agree it could be positive, it could be negative so far?
Yeah.
Okay? And if I made my n value, let's make it say that 100 and this 10, if that happens, I get 90. Okay? But if I made this 100, or if I made this 10 and this 100, I could get negative 90. If I had negative values I was plugging in, it's very possible the same scenario is going to take place. So that has all kinds of opportunities. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, dude, you're already teaching, man. It's first day of school. We should be finding out favorite desserts for summer. Oh, I should ask, can everyone see the board okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, for the equation below, solve each equation for y in terms of x. Okay? Showing your algebraic setups. Simplify your answers to slope-intercept form. So you want to get y by itself. So try number 4 and try number 5. If you want, you can do it on the whiteboard first if you're just still rusty about it. And then let's figure it out as a class. But we want to get y by itself. I have my answer on the board for the first one, if you want to take a look. Double check my work, because that was my first equation I've done all summer, so I might have been there. do you think? Does that look okay? Does that look okay? Is anybody stuck on either of those? If so, let's ask. We're just learning this stuff. Maybe it's a refresher. Maybe it's like, dude, this math is so below me. You get the other kid going, Started talking, sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher up there. Now you all say, who's Charlie Brown? May I move on? No questions?
Yep.
Good. All right. All right, so then, we're incorporating a little chemistry in here. I apologize. A little science. I'm certified to teach science as well, so sorry about that. But we're going to solve the equation. So Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 Celsius or centigrade, depending upon what you're doing, added to 32. So this is how we do it. Now, they want us to solve for the letter C. I don't know. I might say this is my first move. What do you think?
I like it.
What did I do?
Put it on the other side.
I put it on the other side. I moved it, right? I did the opposite value. It was a positive 32. I moved to the other side. All right. Ooh. Who's been studying up on the big math terms? What should I multiply both sides by? What's it called? What? The reciprocal. All right. I didn't hear what you said. I heard. I was like, why? Maybe this is a new term. I don't know. All right. So it could be. I mean, everyone knows how to do math better than me. But all right. So I'm going to multiply by 5/9. That's called the reciprocal. That's where you flip over the fraction. Multiply this side by 5/9. So this would have come out to C is equal to 5/9. You can distribute it over the parentheses if you want to. It's too hard? No. Sorry. If you want to go to Ohio State, you need that kind of slow education. Is that what you're saying? Oh, man, he's already ripping on schools. Sorry. I'm sorry. All right, so Celsius equals 5/9 parentheses F minus 32. So there's your conversion between the two. So now it says find the temperature in degrees Celsius. Well, we're in Celsius. It could be centigrade, depending upon, you got it. And then we want to know what it means at 77 degrees. So what do I do with this 77? What's going to happen with that? Where's it going to go? Is it going to go for C or F? Yeah.
Plug it in for F.
Plug it in for F. Okay, find the temperature in degrees Celsius, C equals, for 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, plug it in for F. Cool. All right. So 5/9. And 77 minus 32. 77, if I subtract 32 from 77, I should get to 45. Divide both sides by 9. So I get 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Cool. So 25C is the same thing as 77 degrees F. It's starting to come back to me. That's good because I'm a teacher. Am I going too fast?
No.
I'm sorry. All right. Solve the equation for the indicated variable. This formula is the surface area of a cylinder. That is the strangest looking pie that this computer could generate. I apologize about that. But we want to try and solve this for h. So we have S is equal to, and this is dealing with surface area, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And we want to get h all by itself. We want that all by itself. So would this first move be okay? If so, what did I do? Yeah, it was a positive component. It was a whole grouping of numbers, so we just subtracted. Good. How are 2 pi r and h being held together? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, multiplication. I had a kid last year, he's like, ionic bonds. I'm like, all right, so I want to get h by itself. So in order to get h by itself, that means I need to divide both sides by 2 pi and r. And 2 pi and r. And some people get all cutesy, but in my opinion, h is equal to s minus 2 pi r squared all over 2 pi r. Okay? Leave it all grouped, all big. Am I doing okay? Does anyone have that sinking feeling yet? Go, oh no. Good, good. Me too. All right, so find the height of a cylinder given the radius is 6 centimeters and the surface area is 72. Okay. All right, well, the equation we did was this one, right? So let's see if I might break something if I do this, but I'm going to try anyhow. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. So, someone do me a favor. Somebody repeat for me with that formula. We just solved for it. What did it solve to? H is equal to what? Do I have that? I couldn't hear. Who has it written down? Speak it.
S minus 2 pi r squared over 2 pi r.
That?
Yes.
Seem good?
Yes.
Find the height of a cylinder given the radius of 6. Oh, that must be R. That must be R. And the surface area is 72. That must be S. Let's plug it in. Did I do that right? Yes, we're working on pies. All right, so 72 minus 72 pi, I believe. 6 squared is 36. 36 times that 2, 72. Over 12 pi. And I guess we should say it's centimeters. What do you think? Did I really work it out? This is an exact answer. I don't know if y'all knew that. Exact answers are pretty good. Exact answers are how you want a lot of problems being. Well, I got one slide left, and there's 5 minutes left. I think I can make it. Ready?
Yes.
Solve the equation for the indicated variable. This formula is the volume of a sphere. We want to solve for r to the third. Oh boy. So I think maybe first move would be this. Why are we not right? Come on, baby. What do you think? Multiply by the reciprocal. Then I could do this. What do you think? Notice how we incorporated the v as part of the numerator and pi as the denominator. Now this is where the kid asks, what's the downside part of a fraction, v for denominator? We thought in math we were so good. How do I get r to the third just to be r? Dude, yeah.
You could make so that the other side is the cube root.
Copernicus over here, man. I love it. So take the third root of both sides. Love it. 3b over 4 pi. And I'd say yes, you're supposed to rationalize the denominator. Does anyone want to know why we rationalize denominators? Because back in the olden days when we didn't have calculators, it was too hard to divide by a square root to a square root. It's silly to me, but I'm not going to worry about it. Let's leave it like that for right now. Everyone happy?
Yes.
All right. So coming out to you, you don't. First off, did anyone buy the workbook yet? Hey, we got one. All right. So if you bought the workbook, you don't need one of these. While I'm passing these out, make sure the whiteboards and markers and socks are all put back there. Make sure you get your cell phone
so disrespectful.
Pages 3 and 4 are the only ones going to be marked off tomorrow. The answers are at the bottom of page 4. So pages 3 and 4, that'll be marked out for tomorrow to get your first round of points, all right? Hey, did I teach okay?
Yeah.
Is anyone so frustrated that you're going to drop?
Yep.
Good, okay. All right.